Hello everyone, hope you all are doing good. Welcome to our channel We Educate. Today we will be talking about Mahatma Gandhi, his life and contributions to the Indian freedom struggle. Since this topic is very wide, we have divided it into two parts, and this video makes the part 1 of the two-part series. Soon we shall be rolling out the part 2 of the same. Mahatma Gandhi is one of those very few topics that are asked in almost all papers of UPSC. Be it prelims, mains, or even interview, every year numerous questions are asked based on Gandhiji. So an aspirant needs to be thorough with it. Our discussion today will revolve around the part in GS1, that is modern Indian history. Specifically the freedom struggle, its various stages and important contributions or contributors. So let's get started. Now let us talk about the early life of Mahatma Gandhi. As we all know, Mahatma Gandhi was born as Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi on October 2nd, 1869 in Porbandar in the princely state of Kathiawar in Gujarat. He studied law in England and in 1898 left for South Africa to practice law. He left in connection with a case of one of his clients, Dada Abdullah. Now this served as the turning point in his life. Gandhiji practiced law in South Africa but was subjected to the same discrimination and racial hatred that other Indians there were subjected to. Now, in order to understand it better, we need to have a brief background about it. The Indians residing there were the indentured laborers or their generations which migrated from India to work on British-owned sugar plantations. Gandhiji advocated the cause of Indians in South Africa for nearly 2 decades, fighting for their rights. Gandhiji was treated exactly as the laborers were, that is, unjustly. Looking into the plight of these workers, he took it upon himself to bring reforms. After achieving his goals in South Africa, Gandhiji returned to India in 1915 and joined the Indian leaders in the struggle for freedom. Alongside the other Indians, Gandhiji fought for Indian independence and finally won the nation her independence in 1947. But the noble soul was shot at by Nathuram Godse on January 30th, 1948. The 3 bullets cost him his life and the nation an irreparable loss. Now let us have a look at the strategy that Gandhiji adopted as a means of protest. One is Satyagraha, the hallmark of Gandhiji. He was deeply inspired by the philosophy of Tolstoy, which said evil could best be countered by a non-violent resistance. Second is truth and honesty. These were the ideals Gandhiji lived by. The term Satyagraha itself translates to an endeavor for truth. Truth and honesty served as the basic tenets of his strategy. Non-violence. He describes non-violence as a force more powerful than all the weapons of the world combined. By non-violence, he meant standing against injustice until it transforms into justice. So basically, it compels injustice to transform itself into justice. It compels the wrongdoer to do the right thing. Next is cooperation. By cooperation, Gandhiji meant the cooperation of masses in the fight. And last but not the least is love and peace. Gandhiji was a firm believer in the power of love. He believed that peaceful methods are the feasible way of reaching one's goal. Now let's discuss the major undertakings of Gandhiji in South Africa. He entered politics with the formation of the Natal Indian Congress in 1894. He also formed a group of stretch bearers called the Natal Indian Ambulance Corps in 1900. He started Indian Opinion, a weekly magazine in 1903 to put forward his views. He formed the Passive Resistance Association in 1907 to protest against a law in South Africa that made it compulsory for Indians to carry their certificates of registration with them at all times. Now, this was the genesis of Satyagraha. Gandhiji also led protests against the poll tax on Indians and the invalidation of Indian marriages. Again, he was deeply inspired by the philosophy of Tolstoy and hence set up the Tolstoy Farm in 1910, where he taught and educated boys and girls together. Now let us talk about his undertakings in India. Having achieved most of his goals in South Africa, Gandhiji returned to India in 1915. The next year, that is in 1916, Gandhiji toured the country. He visited cities and villages to know the woes of his countrymen and to understand them better. Now, since Gandhiji led very many great movements, it would not be possible to cover everything in one video. So this video deals with Champaran Satyagraha of 1917, the Allahabad Mill Strike of 1918 and the Kheda movement in 1918. That makes the part of early nationalist movements. The rest of the topics, that is the Satyagraha of 1919, the Khilafat movement, the non-cooperation movement and the civil disobedience will be discussed in the later video. Now the first among them all is the Champaran Satyagraha of 1917, also known as the first civil disobedience movement. Now what exactly happened was that Rajkumar Shukla, a local, requested Gandhiji to look into the plight of oppressed indigo planters of Champaran in Bihar. Now these planters were bound under the Tinkathia system to grow indigo on 3/20th part of their land. Now they did not receive adequate payment for their crop, nor were they allowed to grow food crops, and at the same time were levied heavy taxes. So they were dealing with three issues at the same time, that of poverty, hunger and taxes. Now on his request, Gandhiji reached Champaran to probe the issue, but he was ordered by the British authorities to leave the site at once. Showing passive resistance and disobedience, Gandhiji defied the order and garnered local support. Seeing the support of the locals, the British were forced to allow Gandhiji to continue with his probe. Finally, Gandhiji was able to convince the British authorities that Tinkathia system should be abolished and the farmers to be paid their due compensation. This was the first victory that Gandhiji gained in India through his novice method of civil disobedience. Gandhiji's second major undertaking was the Allahabad Mill Strike of 1917. Basically, it was a dispute between the mill owners of Ahmedabad and the workers of the same mills. These were the cotton mill owners. The dispute was over the plague bonus and the wages, where the workers wanted their salaries to be raised by 50%. The mill owners were adamant at raising it by 25%. When the situation gained momentum, the workers turned to Anusuya Sarabhai, who was a social activist and also the sister of Ambalal Sarabhai, the president of Ahmedabad Mill Owners Association. They looked up to her to fight for justice to them. Sarabhai in turn requested Gandhiji to help the cause. Displaying passive resistance was what Gandhiji advised the workers to do. He asked them to remain non-violent and to go on a peaceful strike. However, when negotiations failed, Gandhiji took it upon himself to get the workers the justice they deserved. He undertook a fast unto death to strengthen the workers' resolve. And when the mill owners noticed that Gandhiji was supporting the cause, they were forced to agree to their demands and finally agreed to raise the pay by 35%. Thereby, the strike was withdrawn and things became normal again. It was Gandhiji's first hunger strike. This is where this is the inception of hunger strikes that Gandhiji took in future. The next revolt that Gandhiji led was the Kheda Satyagraha of 1918. What exactly happened was that in 1918, crops failed in Kheda district of Gujarat due to severe drought. Now, according to the revenue code, farmers were entitled to remission if the yield that they got was less than 1/4 of the normal produce. But they were denied so and instead were demanded heavy taxes. Gandhiji asked the farmers not to pay taxes, and with the help of leaders like Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Mohanlal Pandya, Ravi Shankar Vyas and Narhari Parikh organized a mass revolt. Throughout the revolt, discipline and unity were maintained. The British made mass arrests and seized the properties of the farmers, but the protesters did not give up. Ultimately, the British government was forced to come to an agreement with the farmers. They agreed to suspend the tax for that year and the next year, and also to reduce the increase in the rate of tax. They also agreed to return all the confiscated property to their rightful owner. Now this was Gandhiji's first non-cooperation movement, and it is significant because of its mass scale that on which it was undertook. Through these three protests, Gandhiji demonstrated to the masses that the technique of satyagraha was what is going to work. He found among the masses his place and understood the strengths and weaknesses of the same. He gained respect and the commitment and loyalty of many. This way, Gandhiji led several significant protests which shaped the history of India. We hope that this video will aid learning and help in better understanding of the concept. We will soon be back with part 2 of the same. Till then, thank you for watching.